I worry about the Rift. It's not supposed to gobble up Arcadia for years, and I'm sure something else will kill you way before then.
Emergency protocols ready. Engaging combat protocols.
Give the word and I'll take care of him, Commander. Great. First they're in the walls, now the ceilings.
Engaging hostile icons. This highly classified information would be of interest to Minister Milverstreet.
That's good like you hit the wrong side of the freighter. Come at me.
Sequencing attack strategies.
Let me know when you needed a stretch.
Enthusiastically neutralizing unfriendlies. Confronting threat.
Plan on conjuring ammo from the paper. We ought to get the crafting side.
Entering a confrontational state. Standing by with life support.
No, Jackson, don't!
Don't fret. With these boots, I can fly.
Jackson, you're too young to be a crater in the dirt. Oh, law, I can't believe he jumped that way.
Sir, I know this isn't the time, but are they gonna put us to the gallows for this?
What? No. That ain't how we operate in Auntie's Choice, Liza. We might be looking at a pretty fierce demotion for losing half our workforce and getting stuck up here, though.
Demotion to fertilizer?
No. Now cease your jawing. This ain't the time. Hey, you! You down there! Would you mind checking on our fellow? Might he have survived the fall? He thought those boots would make him fly, but they really just allow the user to jump repeatedly. Unless their downward velocity is too great. If so, well, you see what happens. We've been stuck atop this machine since Ida, one of our new Protectorate acquisitions, had her gray matter scrambled by the height, jumped down, and landed right in its gears. I admit it looks bad, but please don't tell me you're filing a complaint. I didn't ask for these Protectorate sods. They were assigned to me.
That's unnecessarily hurtful. But I understand why you're lashing out.
No. I mean, yes. Well, maybe. Probably. I'm fairly sure Jackson thought the boots would work. A mistake likely inspired by misbegotten faith in his old way of life. But Ida... I can't fathom no sensible motive. She joined us shortly after Auntie liberated her with the freedom of meritocracy, and she seemed happy enough.
Were you not listening? She said she'd always be a loyal subject. It was part of the endless inculcation we endured in the Protectorate. It can prove insurmountable for some.
The notion that she'd sacrifice herself, even after seeing the vast possibilities in staying alive and climbing the corporate ladder, it's just impossible to cognize. There ain't no way off this platform besides jumping, and you've seen how that ends. But you being down there makes you uniquely qualified to help us. The reason Jackson tried using those plasma thruster boots was to gather a piece of machinery we'd spotted on a little table halfway up the spire.
It's a drive overloader. If we install it, we can push the platform's arm hard enough to... well, to grind old Ida out of the gears.
Though the power of that overloader will deluge the system and, well, overload the drive and burn it out all permanent-like. But desperate times and all that.
So if you were to use them boots to bound up the spire and deliver the overloader to us, we'd avoid the tragic fate of our two former cohorts.
Exactly! Because he had no idea how science works and thought the word thrusters meant he could fly. So when I told him to jump, he opted for open air instead of where I told him to go. They're experimental. We'd not laid eyes on them before, but the data we found with them says they were actually designed to let people hop their way up the spire. If you activate the plasma thrusters when you're already airbound, they can give you a fair bit of extra boost. It should let you turn a quick hop into a surprisingly grand vault. Well, that's calamitous. I suppose we'll be here starving to death if you change your mind.
Oh, you're by our prop of Brachythecium rotamulum. They're found in bandages and burn tinctures. If you don't have that drive overloader, ascending may be a waste.
That's it? It was that easy?
We've certainly found our way into a most harrowing circumstance, At least I'm glad I'm not alone. He hadn't been here terribly long, so we weren't particularly familiar. Like me, he was also former Protectorate, but he was not raised in Fairfield, so we'd never met before. Still, he seemed like a friendly, kind sort, albeit a headstrong one. I'm sorry he's gone. We need you to retrieve a drive overloader. There's one at the workstation on Spire 4. Inserting that overloader into our control panel will allow us to force the machine to lower, despite dear Ida mucking up the gears. Please do hurry. I've lost count of how many meals we've missed, but it is closer to many than a few, and we're starving.
That was some impressive climbing. Poor Jackson could have learned a thing or two from you. Starting with the right direction to jump, I suppose. Wonderful. Get us down, and I'll happily compensate you in accordance with standard Auntie's Choice urgently improvised extortive standards. Oh, thank the law. I never thought of myself as a vertiginous sort, but being trapped 100 meters in the air will make you reconsider.
I mirror that sentiment, to be certain. In fact, Auntie will have to pay me triple if heights are to be involved. And isn't it grand to be in a system that allows me that freedom?
I agree with Liza. I'm inclined to keep a few paces from farming equipment from now on. Here's your reward for evacuating us with all our parts intact. I perhaps ain't as awash in currency as I'd prefer, so you can have my helmet as well. It was useful for identifying crops we'd missed in our harvest, but to be honest, I'd like a little distance from plants for a spell.
blood in the talent pool around here with these Protectorate defectors. Not sure how I feel about that, except that I hate it.
I've been gone a while. How'd it go? Tell me you got good news. Why, that's terrible. But you said you have the schematics? I'll take those. What? Sovereign's finest potato corollary peeler? This was supposed to be a guaranteed bestseller. Who in their right mind would... Jackson, you idiot! Ah! It's a good thing he's dead, because if he wasn't, I'd kill him! There's no... God damn it! I'm never getting that promotion. This was supposed to be my easy path to a promotion. Must be something I can do to salvage this. Tell me, did you come across any other advanced Protectorate technology while you were there? Anything more, well, easily marketable? Personal thrusters? No one would ever want such preposterous things. I'd be laughed out of recreant reclamation. Imagine, jumping about like a sprog. Ridiculous. Well, here's all I can spare in regards to your compensation. Try not to spend it all in one place. It's supposed to be categorically bad for commerce. In the unlikely event things somehow pan out and I get that big promotion, I'll see you're taken care of. Until then, take care.
Give Auntie 2 bits, and she'll give you some new glitz. Give Auntie 5 bits, and she'll give you a facial spritz.
You ever find yourself with too much... disposable income? I got plenty of ideas on how to dispose of it.
You can't
much appreciate you undermining my work, Minister. When have I ever not made a go of a job for you, huh? Is it so damn hard to extend a mind of trust?
Calm down. You know well it would not have been necessary had you completed your task in a timely manner.
I'll calm down when you stop bringing your little excuses. How about that?
My, such aggression. We scarcely need add hostility to your list of inadequacies,
Ain't so sure you want to work for this imbecile, friend. There's more menial jobs where that came from. Ain't so sure you want to work for this imbecile, friend. There's more menial jobs where that came from.
Fair Trooper Sealong, no mind. The individuality encouraged by Auntie's choice sometimes inspires employees to speak out of turn. How has your progress been? Have you acquired what we discussed? Excellent! Pleased that someone in my employ can be relied upon. Here, have one of my finest suits as a token of thanks. May it aid in your capture of hearts and minds.
Again, you gave away my job and told my replacement to send me home. That don't make me wayward, and it sure as shit don't make me unreliable. If this contract weren't staying my hand, I reckon you'd be answering to it right about now.
You mean grant preferential treatment to a subpar contractor? And I suppose the bits for such a procedure shall simply manifest from the ether?
And if I die or leave, how do you reckon failure to retain an enhanced soldier would look to upper management, huh?
Please pay this disgruntled employee no mind. What would she do without Auntie's hand to guide her if she were unemployed? I should think death a preferable alternative.
That's it. I'd rather be a down-and-outer for the rest of my life than crushed under your counterfeit leather boa boot a second longer. I quit!
Are you mad? Has everyone around me gone mad? This is unheard of, and I might add, you'll not be welcome within Auntie's choice once more. We'll not take a contract shirker back into our fold.
So you say, but Auntie's choice ain't seen a trooper like me before. You'll regret counting me out. Till then, I hope you choke on your mock apple martinis. And you, I got a proposition for you. Come find me when you're done with this clown.
She will most assuredly regret her decision, most assuredly. But I suppose that is no longer my concern. Now, where were we? Oh, yes. The acquisition of this information is but the first part of my plan to bring our foes into the fold and to ensure my future. The second is my operation in Westport. I should have known better than to try to bait an individual as savvy as yourself. I shall speak openly then. Bringing Westport to heel will deliver me not only my future, but the tools to aid you in your endeavor to enter the Vox station. Verily, on to business. I've a kit of supplies to aid you, items to cajole or to dissuade. Sabotage the town or sway the citizenry, the choice is yours. Should pose no trouble for a go-getter like you. Westport represents a challenge. The challenge presented by the majority of the Protectorate. Fairfield citizenry were given ample incentive to fold, for they could see the freedom we offer firsthand. But the people of Westport are stubborn enough to risk death for their ideals and cannot be swayed by the lights of Fairfield. If I can convert them, I can convert anyone. Shh, not so loud. The hat can tell when you're questioning it. The people of Westport don't trust me. How can they? I am the enemy. I am the invader. I cannot help these people achieve salvation until I know what it is they yearn for. You are a third party. You're presumably trustworthy. I need you to act on my behalf. I say if the situation is serendipitous, so much the better. Perhaps. The kit contains a wide variety of tools, propaganda, equipment, and more than a few confectionaries. Some items may serve as honey, swaying the naysayers to our side. Others are blunt implements, crippling infrastructure to force the refugees toward Fairfield. Slather on a bit of elbow grease and you'll certainly succeed. I'm sure there are kindred spirits in Westport. No one wholly resists Auntie. Excellent. Here's the kit. Advertisement tapes, ambidextrine, assorted stimulants, free samples of Purple Berry Crunch, everything you need to wage war on the undecided mind. With that, I shall mark the locale. Begin with the vigilant Hogarth. Motivate him to depart, and his subjects will trot in file behind him woolly cow-like. Now, I'm sure you've asked yourself, for a task so involved, shall the reward be worthwhile? Well, wonder no longer. For the completion of this deed, I'm prepared to offer you an exact replica of my one-of-a-kind, limited production, gentle person's Oxonian. Then consider yourself officially deputized in the war to further innovation and the free market. Be forewarned. I can only guess at the needs of the denizens of Westport. You must engage with them, gauge their situation. Only then can you motivate them adequately. While I can't say for certain, I strongly suspect not. Westport no longer possesses any strategic value. The Protectorate has no reason to defend a half-sunken town. Still, I would come prepared with anything you think you might require. Paradise Island brims with danger, even if Westport itself seems safe. Do I look like Officer Carr to you? Guns.
The peddler of half measures returns. Suppose it's too much to hope that you speak in half sentences. Make it quick, yeah?
All done in there? Was hoping we could chat. Hope that little dust-up back there didn't put you off. My contract had me caged, and I was glad to get a few licks in during the jailbreak. Got a proposition. Since I'm newly free-ranged, and you're free-ranged yourself, thinking we ought to team up. You're going places. I want to go too. If you help me fix my graft, you'll retain the services of a fully functioning enhanced soldier. Me. Don't matter what you set your mind to, together we'll be unstoppable. And in time, maybe I'll have earned myself the clout to be welcomed back into Auntie's choice. I can be on my own for a time, but I'd rather it not be permanent. Besides, where else can I turn from nothing to something? I did, but I can't expect someone else to foot the bill if there's no guaranteed treatment will work. So I'll take on the risk myself. A go-getter attitude's always rewarded. I get it. You're skeptical. If you got more questions, go on and ask them. You'll not find me hiding anything in the fine print. Had a feeling you knew a good offer when you seen it. Once I'm in top form, you'll be pleasantly surprised to see what I'm capable of. Just gotta find out how to get there first. Doc Tinsley worked with Grafts for some time before she came to Fairfield. Damn fine scientist. Reckon we should visit her lab at the edge of town to see if she's got ideas for us.
This much of a crowd's not likely to keep a low profile. Someone ought to head back to mine the ship.
Acknowledged.
After you. Appreciate you agreeing to help, but the arm's itching something fierce. Ready to do away with it. We ought to head to Doc Tinsley's, quickly if we can. Anyhow, was there something you needed, Commander? How personal are we talking? Couldn't say. I was in it all of 2 days before my graft started festering. Before that, I was an infantry medic. Our platoon was one of the first to touch down in Arcadia. I would have continued serving on the front line in an upgraded capacity, but, well, once the state of my graft became apparent, it was decided that parting ways would be best. We're among the most valuable targets on the battlefield. If we go down, our entire platoon's at risk. But boosting our constitution, making us stronger, making the enemy soil themselves at the thought of enraging us, there's a lot to be gained there. Is it? Well, I'll be sure to send in a report to my commanding officer, wherever he is, and demand some recompense. Maybe things are different back on Earth. Out here, all that matters is winning the fight. My commanding officer, and the surgeon who performed the operation, I imagine. I wasn't lucid at the time. When I regained consciousness, I saw that my service pistol was gone, and a termination notice was in its place. I put 2 and 2 together. Well, that was a bad morning. Look, I knew dismissal was a possibility when I volunteered for the procedure. A successful graft is a boon, a failed one is a colossal liability. I'm a walking lesson in breakage. That's a nice sentiment. Did you pull it directly from a children's serial? Sorry. It's just increasingly clear you've not had many dealings with the corporation or its leaders. This is the way of things in Auntie's Choice. If you can't prove your worth, you're left behind. And that's why I'm here, trying to play catch-up. I miss my platoon, most of the time. I hope they're holding on okay wherever they are. Huh. If nothing else, they'll have Ortiz to keep up morale. I know the nonstop jokes from that bastard sustained me for weeks. Yeah, he's tough. He'll be all right. Of course I do. Can't help but wonder if I'm missed in return. Anyhow, I would rather return to the matter at hand. No use dwelling on those out of sight and out of mind. Right. Like ain't the word I'd use, even before I was itching to tear up my contract and set it aflame. Auntie gave me autonomy, gave me the choice to do more than just struggle to survive. They treated me better than my last employers did, and despite recent events, I believe in their mission. We can give folk here in Arcadia a better life. What, did you think I was born into it? How else do you grow a corporation to this size without doing outside recruiting? Take a look at what most systems offer and what Auntie's Choice provides. Do the math. I'm just one of many who welcomed the chance to enlist with open arms. Yes, and that's a decision I made for myself. Back in Tau Ceti under Spacer's Choice, I couldn't even choose what I had for breakfast, if I'd been allowed any. That takeover was the best thing that ever happened to us, even if it took time to see it. But I reckon that's a tale for another day. That all you wanted to discuss, or... Fine by me? Well, like I said, we were both in the same unit. Me as a combat medic, him as a machine gunner. Everyone in my unit was from Tau Ceti, so we already had that in common. And we served on the front lines, which made us look out for one another that much more. See, most of us were laborers, and we just got our first real shot at something greater. We wanted to make a name for ourselves, and what better way to do that than become a hero? Our onboarders promised that if we demonstrated exceptionalism, showed initiative, that we'd get promoted quick, and our days of living in squalor would be far behind us. We spent a week crouched in the same foxhole under aerial bombardment. Shared water one sip at a time by the end of it. Anyone would have been friends after that. I don't know if I would have made it out alive without him. Maybe I'll tell him that over a beer one day. Praise him in front of the whole saloon. Law knows he's got a thing for heroics. He kept me clear-headed. Every so often there'd be a lull in the bombardments and I'd hear voices all across the field, calling out for aid, for mama, for death. Almost got my head clean taken off when I tried to scramble out of the foxhole the first night. I heard a call for help and moved on instinct. Damn foolish of me, really. Ortiz told me not to panic, to wait till he could provide cover, to just shout first aid instructions where I could. It was too valuable to fall in battle, he said. It was a rough few nights at first, knowing I couldn't help folk who needed it. And the reward for that torment was my life. That an Earth Directorate law or something? No, out here, anyone's fair game. In fact, taking out the one person who could mitigate losses on our side, they'd consider a triumph. In any case, I'm only standing here because of a damn fine soldier who became my friend. I'll carry that knowledge always. Appreciate you agreeing to help, but the arm's itching something fierce. Ready to do away with it. We ought to head to Doc Tinsley's, quickly if we can. Anyhow, was there something you needed, Commander? How personal are we talking? Not great. It was a mining colony under Spacer's Choice. Didn't have much, but my parents worked hard to ensure we had shelter and a warm meal every day. They're good folk. I love them. But I don't think they ever quite grasped how bad things were before Auntie's Choice came. They warned me not to join up, you know. Said we'd all get burned if we put too much stock in the promises of this foreign corporation. But I'd rather take a risk on them than be resigned to how things were. Our colony was isolated, which meant our Spacer's Choice overlords could do as they saw fit. Everyone lived in squalor, save for a select few. We were little more than workhorses. Those of us at the bottom only found joy with our families, our friends. But love alone can't get you through the toughest, darkest winters. I miss the sunsets and my folks, though I know they're well taken care of nowadays. But that's about it. Most of my friends joined up when I did, so we took our community with us. Leaving my hometown itself, it was an eager farewell. Though there is one person I keep thinking of, the grandpa who lived next door, Vincent. He used to draw posters and ads for Spacer's Choice. He had style. Of course, that didn't last. Age caught up and his hands started failing him. Couldn't draw, couldn't lift heavy objects, could hardly walk without exerting himself. And in Tau Ceti, if you couldn't work, you didn't get ration cards. We shared what we could with him, of course, but what we got already wasn't much. Last day I saw him, he refused the half-salt tuna can I tried to give him. Said it was him lending me his strength. He was gone the next day. We searched all over, then realized he must have wandered off into the wilderness, not wanting to be a burden. We never found him. Can't hardly open a tin without thinking about him now. So if you're wondering why I still hold a candle for Auntie's Choice, after everything, it's because I know had Auntie arrived just 4 months earlier, Vincent might still be alive. It's been years now since I talked about it. He was a good man. He deserved better. So did the rest of us. Anyhow, ain't meaning to talk your ear off.
Auntie's Choice is the...
How'd you like Fairfield? I trust the dusty streets, inescapable advertising, and high-strung citizenry live up to your expectations of an Auntie's Choice company town?